I think if people had more direct experiences, they'd be more engaged in their life, and there'd be a higher probability that they would take action to create a higher level of consciousness and change in their life. That's what I believe.
You keep saying, I
Yeah.
this, and I feel this, and I am. Why do you speak like that?
Thank you for noticing, Randy. Appreciate that. I do that because I want to own my story.
And what would be the difference?
A lot of people speak for the group, but the group doesn't necessarily identify with that.
And what does that look like?
So I'd say like, hey, Randy, when you wake up in the morning and you're having a great day, or you wake up in the morning and, you just don't feel like it that day? You could. I mean, that's not totally out of context, I guess. But it's basically any time that I'm pushing my experience or emotion onto somebody else.
In a general
broad sentence, I just don't believe in it, because immediately in my mind, without even someone saying, I'm saying, you do. I don't. You do.
Mm-hmm.
And until we create that level of awareness, there's a level of, also too, it sounds like preaching sometimes. And what I found is through direct experience is how we learn. Intellectually, I could convince you, or really smart people could convince us of a lot of things intellectually. We intellectually know things, but I don't think life is meant to be lived in my head. There's moments. You ever had that moment where you're in nature or you're in just an incredibly beautiful place, right? You've traveled quite a bit, and you go to take it. I love this scene in Walter Mitty. They're on the mountainside, and he's been sitting there forever to take a picture of the snow leopard, which is the ghost of the hills, right? And he's sitting there, and they have this great conversation, and the snow leopard comes out for a frame, and he looks at it, and they look at it, and he doesn't take the picture. And he goes, I just wanted to enjoy that moment. There's been times I've taken out my camera to take a picture. I was just in Alaska last week. There were times I took out my camera, and I went to take the picture, and I was like, this actually doesn't capture this experience. It gets parts of it, but there's a smell that I'm experiencing right now. There's people that are here with me right now that I'm experiencing this right now. There's a dialogue inside of me through direct experience. And I think if people had more direct experiences, they'd be more engaged in their life, and there'd be a higher probability that they would take action to create a higher level of consciousness and change in their life. That's what I believe. Mm. Let's go have more direct experiences.
And coming back to the I statements, kind of speaking in I statements, you're owning it to say, and not saying, when you feel like this, and how people X, Y, and Z.
That's right.
It's like flip that around and say,
no, when I feel like
I feel like this, and when I wake up in the morning and I felt, all of a sudden it flips that, and suddenly it kind of locks me into an awareness and confrontation and ownership of
how did I feel,
my feelings, my thoughts, my accountability, my presence.
So talking about frequency, going back to frequency, right? What's the shift from low level frequency to higher frequency? The next phase of frequency is accountability. Low level frequency is victim. Next level frequency is accountability. Highest level frequency is what I would call transcendent state. Mm-hmm. What I would call states where it's like we're breaking through, like a barrier. Like we're having it's the moments. Like if I asked you right now to think of moments that when you think of that moment, it's emotional for you.